So this is just a basically a part two of my last video, and this is why we can now understand why I was saying I have no choice but to work with law enforcement, right, on this level, uh, because I told you guys, I said between the civilian population and the hierarchy of law enforcement, whether you talking about the alphabet boys or your basic officer out here, I don't have I'm not in love with either side because both sides is full of corruption. However, I would have no choice but to work with the law enforcement side. Why? Because the so-called your average petty criminal out here thinks they're actually getting away. They think nobody is watching. And I told you guys that 1 out of 4 people are being manipulative. 1 out of 4. Think about that, guys. 1 out of 4. And like I said, if 1/4 of your house is on fire, you would be trying to put the fire out. Why? So it doesn't spread. You wouldn't ignore the 1/4. So I said 1/4 of the civilian population out here is into some kind of manipulation. They're being manipulative somehow. They're trying to swindle people, places, and things. How do I know that? Well, I got the receipts. That's why I got the receipts. And when every day of coming across the average civilian, and 1 out of 4 of them is trying to manipulate you. You know how irritating that can get? A basic human civilian with 7 rings of consciousness. Maybe they got less rings than that. I don't know. Maybe some of them got less rings than that. Trying to be manipulative to an individual who has way more rings of consciousness than they do. You know how irritating that gets. You know exactly what they're doing, why they doing it. That's why I say all the how you doings and thank yous and sorries, it means absolutely nothing to me. Matter of fact, I even made videos in the past talking about if somebody say thank you or sorry to you and you don't even know that person, you are to know that they are manipulating you. They are trying to get over on you, and they're using these petty little words like thank you and sorry to get over on you. I would say 90% of the people saying thank you to you are not thanking you. They're manipulating you. You got people out here saying sorry to you, and you're just looking at them like, what are you saying? What are you apologizing for? It's not even like, what are you apologizing about? Be very cautious of people who are apologizing to you without cause. I talked about the dog walkers in the past, trying to walk around with the dog on a leash, acting like they're some kind of noble person because they're taking care of a dog. I mean, just the silly stuff that people do day in and day out and have to keep going, seeing it over and over. That's why people keep talking about this isolation thing. I say, man, if you plan on evolving, you will learn to love your isolation. When you figure out what these people are really about, you will beg to be back in isolation once you really discover what they're about. If you like living in that world of people playing games with you, be my guest. Come out of isolation and surround yourself with a bunch of manipulators. And y'all can all play with each other and see who comes out on top, right? That's the game out here. And then when you don't want to play that game, they mad at you because you don't want to play the game. You don't want to play their game of manipulation. No, thank you. But yeah, guys, just to close it out, just day after day, people doing the same stuff over and over and over and over again. You know what they're going to do. You know what they're going to say. You know why they're saying it. They can't even perceive that you may know exactly what they're doing. You know why? Because they think that you actually take their word. They don't even have a consciousness to understand that you can pick up on the frequency of their word. They don't understand that. And the crazy thing about it, somebody like myself, I could be the biggest manipulator Since the beginning of manipulation ever, that existed. But I choose not to. I don't want to play that game. That game is old, it's tired, it's boring. To just wake up in your day and say, who can I manipulate today? Oh my God, it's just so petty and boring. So just to close it out, yeah, I will have no choice but to be on law enforcement side, because you want to pay. It's like almost like a payback type of thing too. You just want to go after people who just think they getting over on other people. It's a burning desire inside of me for a payback, to get back at people who think that they're getting over on other people, especially people who don't deserve it.